Welcome to the Prep Zone. My name is Grant Yenny. Tonight, third round playoff action here at Lakeshore as the perennial powerhouse Neville travels to take on the undefeated Lakeshore Titans. Now, Lakeshore obviously playing at a high level all season. They are 12-0. Neville 9-3, but they play a very tough schedule, including teams like West Monroe and Ruston. So for more analysis, let's bring in our color analyst, Coach Jimmy Inman. Coach, let's start with Lakeshore. What do we know about them coming into tonight?
Well, I tell you what, the greatest show on turf, if you will, the old adage that was applied to the Rams back in the day in the NFL, and that's what we have. I mean, these guys can go get it, tons of speed. Penton can just zip the ball. These guys can play. They're good.
On the other side of the field, you have Neville, who traveled 4 hours to get here today.
Yeah, when you have the history of Neville, the tradition of Neville, it basically revolves around three things: coaching, size, and speed and athleticism, and they have those in abundance. That being said, Lakeshore has that as well.
Coach, thank you. I spoke with both coaches moments ago. Let's hear what they had to say and get to the action. Pre-game with Coach Jones. Coach, by far the furthest your team's gone in the playoffs. What are you telling them to keep emotions in check coming into tonight against Neville?
It's just another game. Field dimensions don't change. Time in a quarter doesn't change. Just another football game, and just focus and prepare like we've done every week to this point.
They're big in the trenches. They have a speedy quarterback. What do you do to slow them down tonight?
We got to be big up front. We can't let them get to the second level and make a guy miss. And then because they got two guys, they got a quarterback, and they got a running back who can both go, and we got to tackle well.
All right, pregame with Coach McCarty. Coach, you had that 4-hour drive coming down. How's that affect your team?
Well, we'll see. It was a good day to travel, beautiful weather, stopped a couple times, but we've done it before. We've been on the road before and once this year. And so I think we're ready to play. We'll see, but I think our legs are ready. Kids are excited.
Lakeshore's got a lot of firepower on offense. Yeah. How do you slow them down tonight?
Well, let's kind of hope to slow them down, deal. It's tough to stop them, obviously. As you said, a lot of firepower. Our kids play extremely hard and execute well. Quarterback's a trigger guy. He does a really good job. So we'll try to do our best to slow them down a little bit.
And you guys are perennially in this deep playoff picture, but here in the third round, how do you keep your players' emotions in check here on the road?
Yeah, that's part of it. You have to be able to do that. Big environment, big game, obviously. 8 teams left in 4A. You want to be part of that Final Four, and but it's got to be earned. So, yeah, emotions are a big part of high school football, and it should be. So, yeah, every player on the field has got to control that while at the same time play with a high level of emotion and tempo.
All right, Zach White to kick this one away for Neville to start this third round playoff action. Back deep for the Titans, Willis and Gaucher. Miss will go to the 1. Willis will return this one, crossing the 10-15, looking to get it out to the 20. He's brought down after crossing the 20-yard line by number 24, LaTerrence Brohow.
Well, I tell you what, it's such a weapon to be able to get the ball into the end zone and, let your defense get out on the field and do their job. So if that's the case, going forward, Lakeshore's return game is going to come into play.
And the high-powered offense of Lakeshore takes the field first with Chris Penton and company.
Yeah, and they're loaded. Jacob Bernard's obviously a prime target, but he shares the rock regularly.
Screen out to Massa, and he'll be brought down by number 9, Devin Bowie. But Bowie read that one completely, and he got off of that block of Jake Smeraldo.
Yeah, he was there quickly.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Titans as they await the play coming in from the sideline. Last week, Penton was 17 of 27, 203 yards. Tioga got a heavy dose of Max Lowry, the sophomore running back. He had 28 attempts for 164 yards and a touchdown. Penton, pass complete. Dropped in and out of the hands of Massa.
And it was there. It's one of those passes that Massa's going to want back. He's quality. It's kind of a weird spot. It was on his back left hip. He had to reach around. But I think it's one of those moments where he was trying to reach around, and he's talented enough to do so, and then plant and go. Next time he'll be looking that one in all the way.
Bowie, the senior corner, on the coverage there. Third down. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Penton calls for it.
It's a blitz.
Reads blitz, rolling to his right, tosses it out, complete to Willis. And that'll be First down, let's see the spot.
That's going to be
It'll be short.
It's going to be
No,
close.
they're saying move the chains.
Okay.
So that's a first down. He was right there on the line.
Yeah, I tell you what. When we say he made it by the nose of the ball, he made it by the nose of the ball. But when it's on the line exactly, it's something that's easy to kind of play out. You can just look and go, wait, yep, it's right past the line. So
1st and 10 from the 32 for the Titans. Trips to the left. Penton calls for it, looking downfield. Pressure coming. Rolls to his right. Launches this one to a wide open Jalen Willis. 10-5 touchdown, and Lakeshore strikes first.
And there it is. Athletes, and more athletes. And I tell you what, great job by Penton right there. That's the second time that Neville was in the backfield with quickness. He was able to roll out to his right, his favored side, and just sling it.
And how about that separation from Willis?
I tell you what, Willis was shot out of a cannon. I mean, he was just immediately on that deep ball right there, and perfectly hit him in perfect stride. He didn't have to break stride at all.
So extra point coming from Massa.
Massa on for the point after, 4-8 to hold.
Kick is up, and it is no good. No good. So with 10:18 to go here in the first quarter, Lakeshore leads 6-0. Massa to kick this one away following the Jalen Willis touchdown, and Massa has averaged getting the ball to the 2-yard line on kickoffs here in the postseason. This one will go into the end zone for a touchback, and that was about par for the course for the regular season.
Yeah, he's got a cannon, and this is the norm. Just put your defense out there and let's play ball.
So we'll get our first look at Neville's high-power offense led by number 10, Jordan Thomas.
And I tell you what, Thomas has got some zip on the ball. He's a lefty, but he not only can he, spin it through a car wash and not get it wet, he's got a nice touch on the ball.
He can also run. So two-back set. They try the hard count, doesn't go. Look at that offensive line as well. A couple of 300-pounders down there. In fact, everyone but the center is 300 pounds.
Yeah, the buffet's busy, I can promise you, in that neck of the woods.
On 1st and 10, Thomas calling for it. He'll pull it, running upfield. He'll be brought down in the backfield by Tylen Driver.
And Driver is a legit college-bound prospect. He's a load in there. He's that guy that you can definitely build your defense around.
And Thomas there got a gain of 1, so that'll bring up 2nd and 9. And I'm assuming from what we've seen these first two plays, we're going to get a heavy dose of the hard count and then look up for the new play. Thomas calls for it on 2nd down, slings it out. It's complete, but Gaucher is all over the receiver, number 86, Eli Williams.
Yeah, Williams did a good job of just kind of settling down and receiving the ball on that little out route, but, I mean, he was immediately tackled.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 3 for Neville.
It's a big play for Neville on the road at this point, very early.
And Thomas, hard count once again, in the backfield with him. Number 23, it's Craig Turner, along with Demaine Riley. Thomas calls for it. He'll keep it himself, going up the middle, spins off a defender, and he will have the first down.
And that spin move was the reason that first down was achieved, because I tell you what, as soon as he hit the hole, there was an opportunity to tackle him, but that spin move eliminated all of that. He's quite an athlete.
So another first down.
And this is a big deal for Neville, because you want to keep that potent Lakeshore offense off the field, and, get that long drive established. And that first down could be big going forward.
Absolutely. Twins to the left, calling for it. Thomas, handoff goes to Riley, looking to bounce it out left side, and snuffed out. He's met at the line and dropped for a loss of 1 by Westcott along with Driver.
Yeah, I tell you what, Coach Jones will be happy with the way Lakeshore's flowing to the ball right there. There were a lot of hats heading to that ball.
So 2nd and 9 for Neville. Goes 2 to the right.
Second 9 for the Tigers.
In the gun, Thomas calling for it. Screen pass out to Riley. Riley looking to make a move upfield, breaks away from 2 defenders, and he's brought down by Cody Orvin.
Yeah, I tell you, there was an opportunity to tackle him right there, but it's one of those marriage land, as we call it in the sport that I coach, where you got 2 guys, and unfortunately, there's a seam right there, you know, so he's able to hit that seam and get an extra 4 yards.
Riley and Bowie in the backfield here on 3rd and 1 for Neville. Hard count. And this Lakeshore crowd fired up here in this 3rd round matchup. Calling for it is Thomas. They'll hand it off to Riley, looking to bounce it near sideline, and it'll be very close. And the official signaling first down. So that moves the chains, another set of downs.
Yeah, that'll make Coach McCarty quite happy. 2 first downs back to back, keep this drive moving. You know, a lot of people obviously were probably looking towards Jordan Thomas to get the ball right there, but Coach Birch for Neville, kind of a little bit of misdirection, if you will.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 43. They have 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Riley in the backfield along with Thomas. Motion across, Thomas calling for it. He'll keep it himself up the middle, and he's met by Slade Ziegler and brought down after a gain of 5.
I tell you, Slade Ziegler is not a small guy. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. That's nice size for a high school linebacker, and it's a good thing he was there, because if he hadn't latched on, there's no telling where Mr. Thomas would have ended up.
So 2nd and 5, Thomas calling for it, slings it out complete out there to Christian Woods, the senior wide receiver out there, and another first down for Neville.
And they're doing a good job of mixing it up. Again, Coach Birch for Neville, the offensive coordinators, doing a nice job of trying to set this drive up. It's a controlled drive, eat some clock, keep Lakeshore's really, fantastic high-level offense on the sideline.
So 1st and 10, ball is at the 45-yard line. They have a bunch of players in tight. Checked into the game is Chandler Moses.
It'll be interesting to see as the game wears on the impact of the offensive line for Neville.
Snap is high and pulled by Thomas, looking to make a play, and he's slung down by Tylen Driver after a gain of 2.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was done with a little malice. He thought he was just going to roll through there and hit that spin move one more time, but Lakeshore's defense was not having any of that.
Yeah, very aggressive play here early in this 3rd round playoff matchup. Trips to the left for Neville here on 2nd and 7. There's 5:30 on the clock here in the 1st.
It was a good decision by Thomas to keep right there.
Absolutely, because Riley was already being wrapped up. Riley motioning out, Thomas alone in the backfield. It's a screen pass out, complete. Good block there from Riley, and he'll get a first down, is Eli Williams.
Yeah, Williams did a good job right there. He could have gone and tried to hit the marker on the sideline, but instead he was like, you know what, I'm a big guy. I can just I can force my way through. Make sure I get the first, and he did.
Also a good block from Demaine Riley.
Yeah, it definitely sprung him.
So another first down for Neville, 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line as they continue this drive, under 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, and this is exactly what, Coach Mickey McCarty wants to see, a long drive.
Thomas calls for it. He'll keep it himself. Up the middle, has a lane, and he is gone. Touchdown, Jordan Thomas, and Neville is on the board.
Yeah, when we were mentioning Slade Ziegler earlier, and we said if he didn't grab a hold, who knows where Mr. Thomas would be. Well, there's the moment where he actually got through. And, it's pay dirt time.
So Neville does the swinging gate as well.
Yes, they do.
So we await the extra point. On the kick, Zach White. White, a junior for Coach McCarty.
White kick the point after.
Out of the hold of Thomas. The kick is up, and it is a flag.
Was
So they
it
call
good?
offside. That's on Lakeshore.
So
They'll decline it and re-kick.
And they get another bite at the apple right here. So
Yeah, Zach White gets another attempt. Snap is back to Thomas. Place, kick is up, and it is good. So with 4:42 remaining here in the first quarter, Neville leads 7-6. So White to kick this one away. After the Neville score, Gaucher and Willis back deep to return this one. And that one right at the 1 yard line. Willis will return this one. Going right side, has a seam, and he'll be upended by number 28, Carl Edmonds.
and I tell you what, looking at Lakeshore and their big play potential, that's one of the things we mentioned earlier when the ball didn't break the plane and they were able to set that return. It does give them the opportunity to break a long return or even, find the end zone. They're that talented. So something to keep an eye on going forward. I'm sure Coach Gregory, the special teams coordinator for Neville, will keep that in mind as well.
So 1st and 10 for Lakeshore. Last time they were on the field, which seems like an eternity ago because Neville ate up so much clock.
Yeah, that was
a successful touchdown pass to Willis.
And again, that quick play potential, the big play potential is always there.
Handoff goes to Max Lowry. Max running hard, dragging a defender. He was dragging Lacamian Franklin behind him. He was a big guy. And a late flag down. Let's see what the call is. Face mask called on Neville, so that's huge for Lakeshore, giving them extra yards.
Definitely put him over midfield, and I tell you what, Coach Jones has to be happy with setting up shop in this part of the field because with that big play capability, when you can condense the field to half a field but still have room to operate, and the playbook's wide open.
Yeah, ball spotted. The 43. So trips to the left for Lakeshore here on 1st down. Penton calls for it, looking right side, slings it out, complete to Willis. He held on to it
What a
as
great
he took
catch.
a big hit from Carl Edmonds.
Yeah, I tell you, he skied up there and he got the ball. He paid for it. He hit the turf pretty hard right there, but he held on. He definitely made the play. Good job by Lakeshore right there, picking up the blitz again. The 2 times earlier we saw Neville blitz. Penton was, forced to roll out to his right. This time he was actually able to stay in the pocket and fire off a pass.
2nd and 5 for Lakeshore. Trips to the left here. 3:40 to go in the first. Handoff goes to Lowry. Has a hole, and he'll get a 1st down plus some before being brought down by Tom McGee.
Yeah, great job right there by the offensive line for Lakeshore. Big Brennan Landclose, all 6'7", 275 pounds of him, showing some senior leadership and making sure he's leaving his imprint on this game.
So 1st and 10, another one for the Titans. Trips left again. Penton calling for it. Play action this time to Lowry. He'll sling this one. Has Willis, and it's overthrown. On the coverage was Edmonds.
Yeah, and it's just a tad overthrown, obviously, but the big play is there. I mean, the route was open.
Willis has separation.
He had separation, and the offensive line did a good job. So that's something to keep in mind going forward.
So 2nd and 10 for the Titans. As the play signaled in from the sideline.
And I tell you what, that's what that run with Lowry will do for you. It opens up the pass.
Hard count. Neville holds discipline. Yeah, and Lowry, the backup running back, came in last game of the season, has contributed very well.
He looks good out there. Timeout.
And the Lakeshore Titans will call a timeout. So with 3:10 remaining here in the first quarter, Neville leads 7-6. So 2nd and 10, ball at the 28. Calls for it. Penton looking left side, pressure coming. He'll take it himself near sideline and run out of bounds around the 21-yard line.
Good decision by Penton right there. The only thing I'm sure that Coach Jones is going to tell him, ball security. He's holding that thing out there like a bread loaf. But, you know, he's probably got hands like, you know, vice grips. But still, something he's going to want to make sure he does in the future.
3rd and 2, trips to the right. Penton going with the hard count. Neville not jumping. And
Yeah.
Penton calling for it. He'll keep it himself, designed run, and he'll be brought down in the backfield by number 92, Lacamian Franklin.
Yeah, and Anthony Freeman, number 91, kind of blew it up early, you know, immediately prior to Franklin getting his hands on Penton.
So 4th and 4. Oh, check that, about 4th and 6. And they'll bring on Massa and the field goal unit.
What a weapon, an opportunity here to retake the lead.
A 41-yard attempt. He's hit from 42. Snap is back, kick is up, and it is short. No good.
And it was online,
late signal there from the officials.
Yeah, it really was. But, I mean, it landed at the base of the field goal post there. So, but I tell you what, online, like I said, a little bit more of a charge, and we're talking about a Lakeshore lead.
For sure. Well, and you also have to factor in this cold weather as well.
And we got a little bit more humidity here tonight than we did last weekend. So when you're talking about distance like that, every little factor matters.
So here's Jordan Thomas and company, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. And this Lakeshore crowd getting loud. Motion across. Thomas calling for it. He'll give to Riley, following his blockers, and Tylen Driver brings him down.
Yeah, he lives up to his name right there, doesn't he? I mean, when he plants an opposing running back, I mean, he's literally planting him, and that's saying something on turf.
But still a 4-yard gain there for Riley on the run, so it'll bring up 2nd and 6, under 2 minutes to go here in the first. But we were talking about the size of the offensive line earlier, but this defensive line for Lakeshore has held their own.
They have, and Coach Jones' staff has been creative.
Snap is back. Thomas keeps it himself, going up the middle, and he'll be brought down by Orvin after he gets the first down.
Thomas is just so dangerous. As soon as he gets a step, he can take it to the house. So good job right there by Orvin, because if he doesn't get him, again, we're looking at a 60-yard sprint.
Yeah, very speedy Thomas. Trips to the left for Neville this time.
What I meant to say was with Lakeshore's coaching staff being really creative, they're putting Tylen Driver in different positions on each end, mixing things up. So definitely keeping things in mind.
This pass is way to haul it in. It's complete. Eli Williams over there on the near sideline. The pass was a little short and behind him, but he was able to reach back and haul it in.
Talk about a rangy receiver. He definitely showed that he's got the range right there to reach back and grab that one.
So 2nd and 6 for Neville, keeping trips to the left as they await a new play. The game clock here in the first quarter running down is 34 seconds remaining. Thomas calls for it. Snap is high. He'll keep it himself up the middle, out of the grasp of Driver, and falling forward for the first down.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's so quick, and I mean, he's one of those guys, if Driver gets a hand on him, usually he's down. But again, he's really shifty, Thomas is.
So another first down for Neville.
Yeah,
with 20 seconds to go here in the first, and boy, are they good at eating up clock.
They definitely were wanting to shorten the game, so to speak, limit the opportunities for Lakeshore's offense.
Trips right. This could be the last play of the first quarter. Thomas will keep it himself, eludes defenders, and he'll be brought down after a gain of maybe 1.
Yeah, and it was going to be a loss of 2. He made that happen.
So that'll end the first quarter as Neville leads 7-6.
St. Tammany Parish Public Schools, an A-rated school district. Graduates with the highest ACT scores in the state. Facilities with the latest technology. Safe and secure schools. A variety of sports. Fine arts. And learning to last a lifetime.
I'm Superintendent Trey Foles, and this is where we educate every child, every day.
Second and 9 to start the second quarter. Thomas in the gun, calls for it. Designed run, left side looking for a hole. Driver blew up the hole and got first hit on him. He's cleaned up. Cleaned up there by number 32. That's Mackie Bellat after.
Driver definitely slowed his momentum, but he was in the midst of a spin move and was able to just squirt out. But the nice thing for Lakeshore, hatched to the ball. And they're going to need it against an athlete of his ability.
Absolutely. It's 3rd and 6 for the Tigers. Calling for it. Thomas rolling to his right, lofts it up, and it is complete. What?
Dropped it.
Oh, he dropped it. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Joseph Bowie.
Bowie on the intended reception.
Did I see that correctly? He threw that right-handed that time?
He did. He did.
He did.
He did. That's like Jared. Remember Jared Mitchell?
I did.
He played for LSU.
So I didn't realize that Mr. Thomas was ambidextrous, but what a nice throw right-handed right there. That kind of caught me off guard.
So 4th down. Neville will punt it away. Low snap. And punt it away by the Tigers. Get it there. And Willis will let this one go. It'll be downed by Edmonds.
Down on the Titans, 14.
At the 14-yard line. So a ways to go for Lakeshore.
I tell you what, that was big, though. It was a drop, but that being said, it was big to get their offense back on the field because Lakeshore is a quick hit, quick strike team. So the more opportunities, the better for them. So I'm sure Coach Jones is ready to get his guys rolling.
And out come Penton and company. Back to that throw from Thomas for a second. The way he hit him over the shoulder like that, throwing with his non-typical hand, incredible. Here's Penton and Lowry in the backfield. 11:05 on the clock here in the second. Snap back, Penton, handoff goes to Lowry, and he's brought down after a gain of 1.
Yeah, Lowry's a hard runner, but there was nowhere to go right there. Good job by Neville's front four, and allowing the linebackers to come in and clean up as well.
And Freeman and Goldman in on the stop there for the Tigers. And that'll bring up 2nd and 9 for the Titans.
We haven't seen Mr. Bernard yet, so I tell you what, it's time for him to be released if you're Lakeshore.
Snap is back, keeping it himself as Penton has room to run, and he'll be tripped up from behind by Tom McGee, but that's a first down for the Titans.
Good job by Penton. He made a nice read right there, kept it himself, took off, found some space around the left side. And I tell you what, if it wasn't for Mr. McGee, he could have gone for a good run.
So that'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Titans. Trips to the left. Penton awaiting the play from the sideline.
Only 3 down linemen for,
Penton calls for it, looking downfield, lofts it out, complete to Willis. And he'll be brought down by Edmonds after getting the first down at about the 35-yard line.
Tell you what, Willis is having a big night.
Willis has had a big playoffs so far. Last game against Tioga, 7 catches, 82 yards.
That's a nice. Anytime you're getting anywhere near the century mark, you're doing something right.
On the season, Willis was the leading receiver for the Titans, 1,036 yards on 46 catches, 12 touchdowns. Here's Penton keeping it himself again. Gets away from 2 defenders. Has room to run, and he'll be brought down very close to the first down. He looks to be inches short.
Yeah, I tell you, it's right at the 45. Just like you said, inches short. But the playbook, as we keep saying, it's definitely open. I think Lakeshore can manage second and inches.
Yeah, second in inches as they try to draw Neville off sides. And continuing this drive. Snap is back. Penton looking to pass. Pressure bearing down. Looking downfield. Launches it. And it is complete for another first down. Complete to Jake Smeraldo.
Nice grab off the blades of the turf. And a great job by Penton escaping pressure right there. Neville did a really good job. Their front four, they're definitely creating some havoc, but he is handling it well.
Also a great job by Lakeshore to keep this drive going.
Absolutely.
1st and 10 at the 42. And now we're going to see it from both sides all night. They do this hard count and try and draw the other side off. Most of the time teams don't jump. Penton calling for it. Pass is batted down.
I tell you what, that almost was disaster, because if Neville's able to pull that down and go the distance, it definitely puts Lakeshore's offense under pressure. Right now, Lakeshore is able to do what they want to do in terms of trying to manage this drive.
8:41 to go here in the half. Trips right for the Titans here on 2nd and 10. Calling for it is Penton. Pressure starting to bear down. Sees some daylight running forward. He'll get the first down. Looking to bounce it outside. Still on his feet down the sideline, and he'll be pushed out of bounds inside the 20.
What an amazing run by Penton right there. And again, they're putting the pressure on him. It's not a design run by any stretch of the imagination. That's him being forced out of the pocket, being forced to pull it down and make something out of nothing. And I'll tell you what, he was a magician right there, because there was nothing and he created not just something but a big play out of it.
1st and 10 from the 25 for the Titans. Penton calling for it, looking to pass. Good protection by that offensive line. Now starting to break down, and he'll be brought down in the backfield by number 20, Tom McGee.
Yeah, and I tell you what, don't be surprised if Neville, with 3 down linemen, start to use McGee, who's quite an athlete, to spy on Penton, because Penton's been able to get outside, break containment, and get a big play, and right there, McGee just wasn't allowing that.
So 2nd and 18 for the Titans.
It's a big sack right there. Definitely, 2nd and 18 is still manageable with this offense. It's a big play capability.
All you need is some separation from Willis and
or Bernard.
Or Bernard. So Penton looking to pass, lofts it out, looking for Willis, and it's thrown out of bounds, incomplete. On the coverage is Troy Gaines.
Yeah, I tell you what, that coverage right there was pretty solid. It would have taken something special to fit that ball in.
Yeah, it was locked down. 3rd and 18, 7:41 on the clock here in the first half. Neville leading 7-6. 2 to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom. Penton calling for it. Rolling right, pressure bearing down from McGee. Toss back to Massa. Massa has room to run, and Massa will score.
Great play design right there. I tell you what, that was set up all the way, trying to alleviate some of that pressure. The fact that it went the distance was just, that's gratis. But great play design.
Yeah, we talk about it just takes one play with this quick, speedy offense, explosive offense of Lakeshore. And there we see it.
And again, it's not just one guy. I mean, they have a number of guys who can eat up the yards with quickness.
Last week, Massa had 5 receptions, 91 yards. And then after the touchdown, he kicks the extra point, and it's good.
It's a good thing he wasn't tired.
So with 7:32 remaining here in the first half, Lakeshore leads 13-7. So Massa to kick off now. He scored the touchdown, then he kicked the extra point. Now he'll kick off.
He's a busy young man.
This one will roll back, and it'll be returned by Neville. Still on his feet, barreling through. That's Riley. And
good.
he'll get to about the 39-yard line.
Yeah, that's definitely a good return. I would imagine Coach Birch will be quite happy setting up shop there.
So 7:42 here in the first half. And Neville, so there was a penalty down, and they're marking it back. So there was a hold that'll set up Neville at the 21-yard line.
And that's a big call. That's a 20-plus yard penalty.
First and 10 from the 21. And in at quarterback for Neville is Peyton Batterford, senior quarterback. He's a big
guy,
almost pro-style type. He hands off to Riley around right side, and he's dragged down over there on that far sideline by Ziegler.
I tell you what, the quarterback that's in now, he kind of looks like Big Ben in that uniform.
Yes, he does. But both senior, he's the senior quarterback, Thomas a junior.
And they both
got a lot of reps and warm-ups.
Yes, they did. I was about to say they both warmed up as though they were going to start. So
Batterford awaiting the new play from the sideline, calling for it. He's a lefty. He'll launch this one, and it is well overthrown, intended for Eli Williams.
And the coverage was excellent right there.
On the coverage was Gaucher. Good coverage from the senior who's been a starter for 4 years for Lakeshore.
Yeah, he knows the script. He knows what he's doing.
And they're trying to get these Titan fans fired up. It's 3rd and 6. Calling for it again. Batterford, pressure coming. It's a screen, but not a good pass out for Christian Woods. And it was a forward pass, so it's incomplete. But
I tell you what, Lakeshore, even if that had been completed, Lakeshore read that beautifully. So
4th down. The Tigers will punt. Punt unit on. Willis is back to return the punt.
Neville's going to need a big punt right here.
Snap is back, punted away. High punt, and Willis calls the fair catch. So Lakeshore will start their drive at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Coach Jones will be quite happy setting up shop right there, I can promise you.
6:32 to go here in the first half. Out comes Penton and company. So Massa on that last drive scored the touchdown. Lakeshore looking to get a good drive here and repeat.
And I tell you what, getting a little bit of breathing room on the scoreboard would be big for the Titans right here. And I'm still looking for Mr. Bernard. He's actually been the focal point, it seems, of the Neville defense.
Pass complete to Smeraldo, left wide open, looking to get around defenders. Gets away from one, and he'll be brought down by John Cassio.
And I tell you what, when you have to be aware of, Mr. Bernard, then other guys definitely can find their niche and their spot.
Well, you look at a play like that with Smeraldo, a flag down, but a play like that when you have Bernard's locked up, Willis starts getting locked up after he's made a few big plays, and it leaves Smeraldo wide open.
Weapons everywhere.
So 1st and 15, that backs him up. The play's negated.
Yeah, 1st and 15 for the Titans.
Trips to the right. And they've been getting good push for Max Lowry to run the ball.
Yes.
See if they go back to that. Penton hands it off to Lowry, has a hole, and he'll be brought down after a gain of about 5.
Yeah, he definitely picked up 5. It's going to be a second and a long 9. But with only 3 down linemen, it does create some space right there. So, you end up looking at linebackers making the tackles.
Yeah, brought down by McGee. 2nd and 9 for the Titans. Dropping back. Penton, pass out to Massa, complete, and he'll be short of the first down, but a yard shy of it before going out of bounds.
And it'll make it a very manageable 3rd and short.
It'll bring up third and 1, exactly. 5:50 on the clock here in the first half.
And with this offense, who knows what you're going to see right here. Lots of options.
Yeah, trips right with Penton. You have Willis, Bernard, and Smeraldo at the bottom of your screen. Massa alone at the top. Snap is back. Penton looking to pass. Pressure bearing down. Gets away from a defender. Another one coming. Gets away from him. That's a first down for Penton before going out of bounds.
Unbelievable. He's like Houdini. I mean, just escape. He's an escape artist because Neville has been in the backfield a half dozen times tonight, and he's been sacked exactly once.
Ike and Tank Chell forcing him out of bounds after the first down, but what a play from Penton. Penton awaiting a new play from the sideline, and they call a false start on the Titans.
Yeah, I think, Massa up at the top may have stepped forward just a little bit, and it just so happens to be right in front of the official who could easily see it.
But it was they were running the freeze play to try and get him to jump off sides. My offensive line coach used to say when people would jump on the freeze, what play were you going to run?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just one of those things.
1st and 15, back to Penton. Penton looking to pass right side complete to Jacob Bernard, looking to make a move, and he'll be brought down.
And I tell you what, great job by the offensive line right there, picking up the pressure and allowing Penton to sit in there and find Bernard.
Brought down by Cassio and Freeman, and that'll bring up second and a long 4.
Bring up a 2nd and 4 for the Titans.
So trips to the left. Willis alone at the bottom of your screen. Penton calls for it. Give goes to Max Lowry, hitting it left side, speeding up field, and he'll get the first down before being brought down by number 14, Zorian Littleberry. But what a run by the sophomore running back.
And a great job right there, Penton just riding his hip, waiting to see if he needed to keep it or if he needed to let Lowry tote the rock and make something happen with it, and that's exactly what he did.
So another first down for the Titans. As Lakeshore looking to extend this drive against Neville. Neville, the 7 seed, coming into this one, and play action. Wide open, Smeraldo again. They had success on that play a couple plays ago.
When you're locked up everywhere else, something's got to give, and there's space that's available to you as a quarterback, and he just takes a real nice look. Smeraldo sets up, drifts out, and then sets up a first down.
Zorian Littleberry on the stop.
And that's all Smeraldo's doing. He's just kind of drifting out there and finding space.
Trips left here on first down once again. Handoff, Lowry, right side, looking to get around a defender, and he'll be brought down by John Cassio after about a 6-yard gain.
Good hard running right there by Lowry. And I tell you what, as long as he's able to get 5 and 6 yards at a pop, it really puts the pressure on Neville's defense, because at that point in time, you have to start focusing on the run and take away your focus from the pass, and that's a recipe for disaster if you're the Neville defense.
2nd and 3, Penton calling for it, looking to pass. Lofts it up right side for Willis and got a big old handful of jersey there is number 27, Troy Gaines, and the flag is thrown.
Yeah, in the very least, I would imagine that's going to be holding if it's not pass interference.
They call pass interference on Troy Gaines.
Hahnville leads Covington 14-7.
So that'll move the ball half the distance to the goal. It'll be 1st and goal at the 4.
I tell you what, don't be surprised if Penton keeps this one right here and finds the edge. Yeah, if I'm Lakeshore, I'm looking to just ride Lowry's hip again and either keep it myself or let him handle his business.
Trips left, Penton calling for it. Goes to Lowry, and Lowry diving into the end zone for the score.
And he handles his business.
You hear the PA announcer, "Are you not entertained?"
That's right. Are you not entertained? There's no reason to not be entertained if you're Lakeshore with this offense. It is clicking on all cylinders.
The swinging gate set. Massa will be on to attempt the extra point once they shift. Out of the hold of Mason Poirier. Snap is back, hold, kick is up, and it is good. So with 2:49 remaining here in the first half, Lakeshore leads 20-7. Massa on to kick this one away after the Max Lowry touchdown. Massa boots this one, and it will be returned from the 2. Racing down the sideline, here's Riley cutting back, and he'll be brought down at around the 39. So we saw that last time.
Yeah, back-to-back big returns, and the last time there was a hold, this time no flags on the ground.
So Neville looking to score here before half. They have 2:42 to go. If this lead gets any bigger from Lakeshore, this offense that they run that eats a lot of clock isn't really conducive to a comeback. So they need to cut the deficit now.
Yeah, the clock will start to work against them. I mean, they still have the whole second half, so right now I think they're just going to, setting up shop at the 39, they do have a good bit of time. 2:42 in high school ball is almost an eternity. So
Thomas back in at quarterback for the Tigers.
And that's with 3 timeouts left as well.
Snap is back. Thomas looking to pass, pump fakes. He's looking to run as pressure bears down, making a play right side, has room to run, and he'll get the first down before running out of bounds. Pressured there by Christian Westcott.
And smartly out of bounds. We were just discussing the time. But there's still, 2 minutes and 33 seconds left. So like I said, a lot of time. But that is not the guy you want trying to find open space if you're Lakeshore when the play's breaking down, because he's already shown he can take it to the house.
Trips left for Neville. Riley in the backfield with Thomas. Fans getting fired up, want to stop here before half. And it's a reverse, and it's snuffed out. Thomas looking to throw a block. Dancing around is number 3, Joseph Bowie.
Tell you what, Lakeshore did a good job right there of limiting that play, making sure it wasn't a big play. Because if Westcott doesn't keep that contained, that could have gone for some big yards.
Yeah, that'll bring up 2nd and 6 for Neville. Thomas alone in the backfield. And a good job there by Christian Westcott on that reverse play, staying home and not getting wrapped up in it.
Smartly done.
Minute 56 on the clock. Thomas in the backfield alone, calls for it, looking to pass, looking to run. Driver gets a hold of him and will bring him down.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's got to be really satisfying for Tylen Driver, because he's gotten his hands on him 2 times earlier this evening, and Thomas has been able to spin out. Wasn't happening right there.
And Neville will take a timeout with 1:38 remaining here in the first half. Lakeshore leading 20-7. 3rd and 13 here for Neville. Minute 38 to go before half. Thomas calls for it, looking to pass. Pressure bearing down. Launched out and picked off in and out of the hands of number 10, John Hogue, nearly picked off, but it'll still bring up 4th down for Neville.
And I tell you what, he may have been in the grasp right there. They're
And
actually,
there's a flag down
and
as
they're
well.
actually saying it's on Lakeshore. So the question is what is it?
Awaiting the call from the White Hat. Marking this one off. And it's from the spot of the foul, so it is a first down.
Wow.
For the Neville Tigers. And that's a big break for them.
Big break.
Huge break for them, because we were thinking it's going to be 4th down and they're going to have to punt it away. But trips to the left here. Neville on first down, 1.5 minutes to go here before half. But Tylan Driver has been getting penetration every single play.
I tell you what, he's a one-man wrecking crew.
Thomas calling for it, looking to pass, quick pass out to Williams. He's wrapped up, but still looking to get away, and it's cleaned up there by Westcott.
And I tell you what, Tylan Driver almost got a hand on that one right there. Well coached. He realized that, look, he's not going to get the pressure. It's a quick drop. Let me get my big paws up and see what happens. And he almost got a hand on it.
Clock still running, 1:12 to go here in the first half. They have quads to the left. Here on 2nd and 4, 1 minute to go now. Under a minute, Thomas calls for it, looking to pass downfield. Driver gets away from the tackle. He's drilled.
Oh, wow.
It's incomplete. They say the ball hit the ground, but Thomas took a big lick from Driver as he let that ball loose.
Yeah, he didn't give him a Christmas card right there. I tell you what, he was not too kind about that. And that's not the guy, if you're Thomas, that you want hitting you.
It's not a guy you want laying on top of you when you hit the ground.
3rd and 4.
3rd and 4, 47 seconds to go. And they're staying in that empty set.
And there's still 3 timeouts left. I wouldn't be surprised to see Thomas take off on his own right here, try to alleviate some pressure.
What happened there? Yeah, there's Lakeshore called a timeout, I'm assuming before the snap. So, yeah, everybody moved except for the center snapping the ball. Anyway, a timeout for Lakeshore. 47 seconds to go here in the first half. Lakeshore leads 20-7. 3rd and 4 for Neville. Empty set with Thomas. Thomas calls for it, keeps it himself, looking to make a play. Left side, has room to run, and he'll be brought down, and will get the first down, brought down around the 16-yard line.
And I tell you, that's kind of what I was anticipating with them. Just when you have that many wide receivers out, and the DBs are running with their back to the ball, so to speak, it creates space.
Remember in Madden when you would play with Michael Vick at quarterback and you'd spread everyone else out, they'd all run and you'd take off?
That's it.
Similar to that. 1st and 10, Thomas, the lefty, looking to pass, rolling to his right. And he'll take it himself before trying to get out of bounds. Will he get there?
Yeah,
yes, he will.
He did.
So a pickup of about 2.
Randolph on the stop.
About 3, actually. Will bring up 2nd and 7 with 17 seconds to go here in the first half.
And I tell you what, they have 3 timeouts left. So if Neville doesn't find pay dirt right here and not use those timeouts, shame on him.
Awaiting the play from the sideline. Thomas calling for it. Rolling right, following a lead block from Riley, diving forward, and immediately Coach McCarty calls the timeout. So with 10 seconds remaining here in the first half, Lakeshore leads 20-7, and after this timeout, it'll be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and basically what you might see right here is a quick shot to the end zone if you're Neville. But again, 10 seconds is still an eternity, and if your guy is Thomas, you want the ball in his hands. And if he gets tackled short or if he gets in the backfield, you you still have you still have a timeout left, one more timeout. So you do have some time.
And we'll see what they run on 3rd and 1 after this timeout. This is a huge play here before half on 3rd and 1, 10 seconds to go. Calling for it is Riley at quarterback. Riley looking to throw, lofts it out, and it's overthrown, intended for the tight end, number 82, Charlie McDuffie. And that falls incomplete, so it'll bring up 4th and 1 for Neville. And it was lofted well over his head. He just couldn't, 82 couldn't get under it.
Yeah, and a good route. It's one of those things where if the ball's on the other side, they probably stick with their normal quarterback.
So field goal attempt here from White. He puts it up, and it is through. So that'll take us to half as Lakeshore leads Neville 20-10. Riley and Bowie back deep to return here for Neville as Massa kicks off to start off the second half. Lakeshore leads 20-10. So far in this one, this will be returned as Riley gets a hold of it. He got it out to about the 40 last time he had a kick return. This time he'll get out to about the 30 before being brought down by Adam Randolph.
Yeah, and I tell you what, this is going to set up a big drive for Neville. If Neville can go down and hit pay dirt, cut this game down to a one-score lead, that's a big deal. So it's time for Lakeshore's defense to step up. And I'm sure that's what Coach Jones and his assistant coaches are basically telling them, hey, let's handle some business.
Yeah, right before half, Neville had the ball, and they got close to scoring but had to settle for the field goal. I'm sure they're going to want to put it in the end zone, make it 17-20 here. 2 to the left. Thomas calls for it. Handoff goes to Riley. Patient, waiting for the hole, and he'll gain about 5.
Yeah, and I think that we're talking at halftime about what adjustments may be made, and both of these teams have excellent coaching staff. So it looks like Neville's come out with going to make a concerted effort to pound the rock, use the big offensive line to their advantage.
Yeah, 2nd and 6. Thomas calls for it. Give goes to Riley again. Good push from that offensive line. He'll dive for some extra yards, and that'll bring up 3rd and 1.
And I tell you, that offensive line is doing their job, and Lakeshore's got some bodies in there. They're working with 5 down linemen.
Well, and Tylen Driver has been dominant the whole game.
The gig is, and we actually kind of discussed this earlier as well, run at him or run away from him. And if you can run at him, you kind of limit his impact, provided, of course, he's not making the tackle. And he's got that ability to make the tackle, fight off the block, and do so.
And all he needs to do is get an arm on you and grab you, and he has the strength to bring you down. But Thomas calling for it. It's a screen pass out to Williams, and Williams still on his feet. It was nearly snuffed out. That'll be a first down. There's a flag, though. Yeah. It was nearly snuffed out, but a little too aggressive on the coverage there that allowed Williams to go forward.
Well, he may have been assisted in going forward.
And, yeah, they're going to call the block in the back on Neville.
That's one of those where when you see that block in the back, it is right out in the open. There's nowhere to hide when that foul occurs.
So that'll make it third and 15 for the Neville Tigers here. They're going trips to the right. Thomas alone in the backfield. They go with that hard count.
And I tell you what, even though it's 3rd and 15, don't be surprised to see Thomas take off around the right-hand side.
Thomas dropping back, pressure from Driver coming. Eludes Driver, passes away, and it is in and out of the hands of Riley. On the coverage was John Hogue. But Driver has been eating the lunch of the right tackle the entire game. He's in the backfield off snap every single time.
Tylen Driver has been in the backfield of every game he's played the last 2 years. He is just a warrior. He's superb.
On the punt, is Neville. Willis back deep to receive. This snap is back. That one's a good snap. Punted away. Willis will try to return this one. Makes a move. Looks to get away from a defender and running into his own man, trying to make the block. He's brought down by a host of Neville players, including number 14, Zorian Littleberry.
And it's time for the electric offense that is the Lakeshore Titans to come out here. And this is a big moment for Neville's defense. They were able to get a field goal there at the end of the first half. If they give up a touchdown here, it really is going to create a problem because, as you mentioned earlier, their offense, not the kind of offense that comes from behind easily.
Trips left for Lakeshore. 1st and 10 from the 43, Penton.
4 down linemen for Neville. It's a little bit different. That's an adjustment.
Penton calls for it. Drops back. Good blocking there. Complete. Jacob Bernard still on his feet, getting around the defenders to the 20, and he'll be brought down by number 36, Latavian Champ.
And we've been waiting on it, and there it is. You might understand, why we mentioned it not once but twice earlier that he's going to have that moment.
How about the blocking there from that offensive line? All Penton had to do, step up in the pocket a little bit and let it fly to Bernard.
A great job.
Ball at the 15-yard line. You have Massa, Smeraldo, and Bernard to the left. Willis to the right. Handoff goes to Max Lowry. Has a huge hole to run through, and he'll get down close to the 5-yard line.
And again, it's so balanced, the offense. The coaches for Lakeshore do such a good job in terms of play calling.
And it'll bring up 2nd and 1 on that run from Lowry.
To me, it's either Lowry or, you never know, Penton as well. Either one of them.
Penton can take off. We've seen it.
Again, I would ride the hip of Lowry, and whoever wants to go.
Snap back, Penton to Lowry again, barreling forward. Max Lowry.
There it is.
Another touchdown for the sophomore.
And to me, it's really quite simple. If you're getting chunks of yards every time you're touching the ball, you dictate play. And that's exactly what Lakeshore did right there.
And they're looking to take a commanding lead. Extra point coming from Massa. Out of the hold of Mason Poire. Play clock down to 8. Snap back, kick is up, and it is good. So with 8:52 to go here in the third quarter, Lakeshore leads 27-10. Massa to boot this one away for the Titans following the Max Lowry score. Boots it away. Riley looks to return this one. That is returned at the 1 by Bowie. Bowie going right side. Cuts up, still on his feet, going, and Smeraldo will bring him down at around the 23-yard line.
Yeah, I tell you what, again, we talk about Lakeshore and some of their playmakers. Neville has those guys too, and when they get the option on a kickoff return, they've been able to set up some nice field position to start their drives.
So Neville down 17 here in the third. Thomas at quarterback, and they need some explosive plays to try and mount a comeback.
Yeah, they're gonna have to find 7, not 3, and they're gonna have to do it in the next. You got 8:44 left in this quarter. They're gonna have to do it for sure this quarter.
Thomas pulls it, looking to run upfield. Womack got a hand on him before he was brought down from behind by Adam Randolph.
Yeah, I tell you, Lakeshore's defense is definitely making Neville pay for every single yard that they get. And again, the coaches have done an excellent job of mixing it up. Sometimes you'll see Tylen Driver on the right-hand side. Sometimes you'll see him on the left-hand side. It doesn't really
matter where he is because he gets the penetration anyway.
He's in the backfield.
Thomas calling for it. Option pitched and gobbled up in the backfield, driven back by a host of Titans there, led by Ziegler.
And Coach Jones and his defensive staff, when they see that on film, they're going to be quite happy. I mean, great discipline, definitely had containment, and then hats to the ball.
So third down for Neville. Lakeshore looking to get a big stop here. Fans fired up here for this third round playoff game. 7:55 and counting in the third. Thomas calling for it, looking to pass. The lefty looking downfield, pass complete. Williams, oh, it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Williams, but he was wide open.
He was wide open, so wide open that he tried to run before he caught the ball. Because he had the first down as soon as he makes the reception. So that's one of those where, I guess the score may impact his mindset right there, because he might be thinking, if I can grab this and turn and find some space and hit the Jets, but the reality is you got to look it in all the way. Make sure you make the catch.
So Jalen Willis back to return the punt. That's a good high punt for Neville. Covered, and the Peter call was on, and it will bounce out of bounds. So we'll see where they spot it, but on comes Mr. Penton and the Lakeshore offense.
Yeah, I tell you what, Coach Jones is probably going to have a word with his guys on his return team right there. Either the call wasn't loud enough or the guys just didn't do a good job of getting out of the way. But that's one of those clunks off a helmet or a foot or wherever or whatever. You don't want to give Neville new life right here.
Yeah, very close call. 1st and 10 from the 42. To the bottom of your screen is Willis, Bernard, and Smeraldo. Massa alone at the top. Calling for it. Play action. Pass complete to Smeraldo. And he's brought down by number 6, Luke Cagle.
And he just, nice little route, turns, settles, and looks the ball in. So he's done an excellent job of just finding space. And again, it's beautiful play design. But the coaches obviously trust him enough to say, look, just go out there 5 yards, settle down, and see what happens.
That brings up 2nd and 7 for this Lakeshore offense. Calling for it, Penton. Play action, pass on a middle screen to Bernard. Bernard still on his feet.
See you later.
He's gone. 20,
See you later.
10, 5, touchdown, Jacob Bernard.
And again, we mentioned it twice in the first half. When are we going to see Mr. Bernard? Because we know what his capabilities are. Nice little, middle screen, and see you later. See you later.
What a
so many
great
weapons.
play call there.
Oh, yes. I mean, like I said, the Lakeshore offensive staff has done a great job of mixing everything up. They've just been flawless with their play calling.
So Massa on to attempt the extra point once again. Out of the hold of Mason Poirier. Snap is back, kick is up, and it is good. So with 6:44 remaining here in the third quarter, Lakeshore leads 34-10. So I say this often, but Massa kicking it away.
I tell you what, he's getting a lot of practice in for sure.
He'll put it away. Riley and Bowie back deep to return. And this one into the end zone for the touchback.
And that's more the norm. Again, we've got a nice little cool snap, a little bit of humidity out here, so he just had to loosen up, that's all.
He's been running around. He's legs nice and warm at this point.
Yeah. He shouldn't be tight, that's for sure. He should be ready to roll.
So we'll see the Neville offense now with Peyton Bedford back in at quarterback for him. 6:44 to go in the third, and desperately looking for points.
Yeah, and I tell you, looking at Lakeshore, they've got plenty of guys right there in the box, making sure that nothing silly happens.
And it's a double pass. The screen goes out to Williams. Well, that one complete to Riley, still on his feet, and he'll be dragged down at about the 49-yard line.
Well, I tell you
so
what,
that was
the play call was excellent, but the execution was average.
and, well, they made something out of nothing there.
It's one of those without the bobble. That's 6. So they still were able to move the chains, and you know, the playbook is wide open as you can see. But man, without the bobble, that's definitely 6.
Snap is back, play action. Batterford launches this one up, and it is, nearly intercepted in and out of the hands of Gaucher.
I tell you, I don't even know if he saw the ball. He was like a Jedi out there, just kind of willed it into his hands and almost pulled in a circus catch.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10, but now we're seeing with Batterford here in at quarterback, they're launching it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as we said, he looks like Big Ben, and he's out there tossing it, making sure that his team is having a fighting chance to stay in it.
On 2nd and 10, calling for it. Batterford rolling right, launches it down and off the face mask there of Brendan Perry.
And the coverage was excellent. So it's one of those where, you know, he almost was able to fit it in, but almost is not because the coverage was excellent.
All over. 3rd and 10. 6:20 on the clock here in the 3rd.
Big play right here for Neville.
Batterford awaiting the new play from the sideline being called in over there by Coach McCarty. Snap is back. Batterford squares up, toss complete to Williams, and that'll be a first down. They keep their drive going.
And he shows why he's out there, you know, senior leadership in that moment. And again, he's an athlete as well. Batterford is not a small guy. He can definitely sling the rock.
So on 1st and 10, they're quickly getting back to the line and calling in the play. Batterford the Tigers looking to put some points on the board. Play action from Riley, launching it out. Batterford up for Williams. Williams readjusting and incomplete, but a flag is down.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's one of those where I don't think the DB and it looked like the safety actually didn't get his head around quick enough. So. Tell you what, dangerous throw right there into double coverage is especially as good as the DBs are at Lakeshore.
So it's first down from the 22-yard line for Batterford and company.
And it's been a steady diet of passing. I'm waiting to see just a real quick change of pace, either a shovel pass or whatever, to Riley, because when you have somebody of his ability in this area, he could actually spring for some yards.
Batterford will keep it himself, running up the middle, barreling forward, staying on his feet as it's looking to take.
He's still
not up. I mean, not down, but it takes almost the whole defense to bring him down, and he kept trucking forward.
That was every bit of 6 or 7 yards after his initial progress was stopped.
And will step away for the injury timeout as a Lakeshore player is down. All right, 2nd and inches for Batterford and company. Rolling to his left, has Riley open and threw it way behind him, but he was open over there on the wheel.
He was. That wheel route was just a great call right there by the staff. It was just one of those, I don't know if the pass got away from him. It's a tough throw for a left-hander right there, just because his throwing motion is naturally going to put him behind the route.
So 3rd and inches now. With 2 flankers in. Batterford calls for it. Handoff goes Riley, has room to run, cuts inside, and Riley gets into the end zone for a Neville touchdown.
Yeah, what a great run by Riley. Good job blocking up front by the Neville front line, offensive line. And I tell you what, if they get they can stop Lakeshore, they can get back into this game. But Lakeshore has been superb on the offensive
Lights
side
out.
of the ball.
So that'll bring on White. White to attempt the point after. Out of the hold of Thomas. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. So with 5:16 remaining here in the third quarter, Lakeshore leads 34-17. White to kick this one away for Neville. And he boots it downfield. Willis to return this one, catches it about the 5. He's looking to bring it to the middle, following his blockers, trying to bounce it to the near sideline. He gets there, racing downfield. There's a flag down, and he'll be brought down at about the 46.
Tell you what, he did an excellent job. The blockers did a great job of setting up their blocks. Looks like it could be a hold that's going to bring this back, but.
And it is a hold.
That being said, the special teams play right there outside of the hold. The design, everything was set up nicely.
So leading by 17, Lakeshore offense comes back out on the field. They've been lights out and in every phase.
Yes, they have
of the game.
Coach Jones has to be very happy with the way his offense is churning out yards and putting up some points.
Trips left on first down. Penton calls for it, looking to pass. Launches it out. Willis diving for it, and it's complete. And that will be a first down. Let's see where first down for the Titans.
And, Willis had a great start. Went quiet for a little while, and then Bernard got hot, and now Willis is having his chance again.
It's second and an inch.
Show them how to do it, parents.
And let's see, are they gonna? There's a stoppage on the field.
They may
The
measure.
official's gonna talk it over, and
First down.
White Hat says first down. So I knew when I saw him after the play, it looked very close, but I mean, where they had it spotted, it was, centimeters.
And the machine keeps working overtime.
So Penton, hard count once again. Clock running, 4:45 to go here in the third quarter. Calls for it, looking to pass, launches it out, looking for Willis, and it's incomplete.
Man, what a great throw by Penton.
Yeah, on the money, it just got away from him.
The defense was excellent right there. The DB was stride for stride. The window that Penton had to fit that ball in was minuscule, and he did. It's just a ridiculously difficult catch for Willis to try to pull in. Full speed, over the shoulder, blanketed by a DB. So it didn't happen, but boy, what a throw.
Second and 10 for the Titan offense here at the 39-yard line. Penton calls for it, looking to pass, steps up, pass out, and off the chest of Willis and to the ground, incomplete. On the coverage there was Edmonds.
And this is one of the few times we're seeing a third and long tonight.
Yeah, third and 10 for the Titans. As a new play comes in. Neville readjusting as well. Only one linebacker, 3 down lineman. Penton looking to take off himself, has room to run left side, trying to get all the way outside. He'll get the first down before heading out of bounds right after crossing the sticks. Another Lakeshore Titan first down.
Yeah, when you have that many receivers flooding the route and Neville's got that many guys back, it creates a mismatch when you have a quarterback with Penton's ability. Especially, you have 3 down linemen and 1 linebacker. You're really asking a lot of that 1 linebacker.
So first and 10 for Penton and company, 4:21 on the clock, and only the third quarter.
Yeah, it's just tough for Neville. It's a pick your poison kind of moment. Where do you go with?
Handoff Lowry, huge hole. Lowry hits it like a bullet. First down, still on his feet, racing down that left sideline before being pushed out of bounds by Javon Carter. But Lowry has been absolutely stellar, not only in this game tonight, but in the entire postseason.
And how great has the offensive line been in terms of pass protection and run blocking,
and blowing up wide open holes.
And the coaching staff has just done such a great job of mixing it up and keeping Neville on their heels.
So 1st and 10. Snap back, handoff to Lowry, and that time he'll be brought down for a gain of 1 by Anthony Freeman. Penton on 2nd and 10. Setting up, calling for it. He'll fake it to Lowry, and he'll be met in the backfield and dumped by Anthony Freeman.
And you know, Freeman's been able to get in the backfield on a couple of occasions. Again, it's really asking a lot of Neville's defensive line to take on that task, but they have quality there. The defensive line for Neville is definitely top tier.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 13.
And how nice it is for Coach Jones to be able to just turn to his senior-laden staff and say, milk the clock.
Absolutely. Penton will be gobbled up by Freeman once again.
Like I said.
And a flag down.
Wow.
A little chippiness. He's pointing at Freeman.
Well,
and they call the personal foul on Freeman. So that'll move Lakeshore up even more.
That's not what you want. You know what the old coach say, it's like, giving the best milk in town and kicking the bucket over. That's not what you.
And there's another flag out late.
It's going to be the coaching staff on the Neville side.
So now they're looking at 30 yards.
Well, could this be a sideline warning?
So there's the personal foul on Freeman being marked off there.
So it'll be half the distance again.
And then
that's where it's just going to end up.
They mark off the next one. And that
the
gets
8-yard line.
To, about the 9. But that'll be 1st and goal for the Titans.
I tell you what, the dreaded yellow hanky of your Neville, get a big sack, great effort, and then the next thing you know, you're sitting there looking at a 1st and goal for Lakeshore.
So 1st and goal from the 9. 3 minutes to go on the clock, and as you said, senior laden staff can just milk it.
Yeah. They can watch the play clock, get all the way down to 2 or 3 seconds and take their time.
Snap is back. Play action pass. Complete touchdown to Massa.
What a great just dart right there by Penton and Massa. Just beautiful grab. We saw earlier in the game he had to kind of reach all the way back around. That one was also on his back hip, but just a little bit easier for him to manage, and just hauled it in, and now we're looking at 41 points potentially.
And the senior kicker, after scoring that touchdown there, will attempt the extra point.
And I tell you, the rest of the state has to see this score and go, man, you've got to be good if you're putting 40 up on Neville in the 3rd quarter, no less.
Snap is back, placement, kick is up, and it is good. So with 2:57 to go here in the 3rd quarter, Lakeshore leads 41-17. And Massa to kick this one away. This is the 2nd time he's done this in this one, but he scores the touchdown, then he kicks the extra point, and then he kicks off.
Yeah, his calendar's full.
And that is that'll be returned. It was at the 1, so he'll be brought. But it's effectively a touchback because he gets out to about the 20.
And, he was able to return that. The ball did not cross the plane. Therefore, he can actually step into the end zone as long as he keeps the ball out in front of him.
So Neville down a lot.
Yeah.
Needs to score.
It's 7.
As I said earlier, their offense isn't really conducive.
No, I tell you what.
They're trying to light it up, though, here with Batterford in at quarterback. They're trying to go for the long ball, but
I tell you, they're to the point now. I mean, even in a hurry-up, quote-unquote, hurry-up last drive was a 4-minute drive. You just don't have that many of those.
Pulls it, Batterford running right side, and he'll be hit and driven out of bounds by Orvin on the far sideline.
So even if Neville's able to score,
yeah,
and it's a realistic drive, you're now into the fourth quarter. They're going to have to start looking at onside kicks, even with a score.
For sure, but then if Lakeshore gets it back, though,
your defense is
milk it.
Up against it.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 6 for the Tigers. Batterford calling for it, looking to pass. Downfield driver pressure, and that goes falling out of bounds, intended for Bowie.
And driver was in the backfield
again
in a heartbeat.
He's been doing it. He's matched up over there with Max Mitchell, the right tackle, and driver has just been getting the better end of that matchup all night.
Again, he's just quality.
Batterford alone in the backfield. Trips left on 3rd and 6. Batterford calls for it. Looking downfield, here comes driver. Looking to escape driver, and driver slings him down. It'll bring up 4th down for the Neville Tigers.
I mean, he's just, a man amongst boys. You hear that saying sometimes, but it's so appropriate. He is just absolutely lighting it up out there.
4th and 8, and they're bringing the punt unit on. Willis back deep to return. Snap, punt away. Nice spiral. Great punt. And Willis calls the fair catch. So on comes this Lakeshore offense.
Yeah, and expect more of the same.
Heavy dose of Max Lowry, and then once that isn't working, they'll pass.
But even their passing game is designed. I mean, they don't have to get out of bounds. They could keep it between the sidelines and keep the clock moving.
1st and 10 from the 41. .156 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Penton calls for it. Play action. Has room. And he'll launch this one. Looking for Willis. It's on the money. Willis comes down with it at about the 11-yard line. And how about that?
Well, again, Penton is a Houdini. He's the escape artist. Gets out, goes to his favorite right side, and just throws the perfect pass. And this time, even with excellent coverage, Willis just great catch, great concentration. As a matter of fact, it was probably dual possession, which is going to go to Willis in that situation. That's how tight the window was for that reception.
So 1st and 10 from the 11. Calling for it. Penton going left, has plenty of room to run, and he'll be pushed out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. Just so many offensive weapons. They can do anything.
Right. And the play calling has been spot on. Just Neville just cannot get on the front foot here. They are on their heels.
Neville, a perennial powerhouse.
And well coached. They've got
very well
talent.
coached.
They're well coached.
Plenty of athletes, big guys.
Lakeshore is showing tonight and illustrating to the rest of the state what the hype's about.
Give to Lowry, cuts it back, left side, still barreling forward, and he'll be stopped about a yard shy.
Yeah, I tell you, Lowry is a tough runner, a hard runner, but big number 98, Jarrett Goldman for Neville. He is a full-grown man. So that's one of those where it's like running into a brick wall.
Lowry lost a yard there. 3rd and 1. They're 2 yards away from the end zone, though.
And again, to me, this is run all the way, but you never know. That's the gig. The Lakeshore offense, you never know what they're going to do. Very unpredictable.
Play clock down to 5. Penton calls for it. Give goes to Lowry, left side, looking to get the corner, stretches out, touchdown, the hat trick for the sophomore Max Lowry.
And I tell you what, he was horizontal. He kept his knees off the turf and stretched out beautifully to break the plane with the ball.
28 seconds to go here in the 3rd. Max Lowry just caught the edge and extended, got full extension out, and scored. So Massa on to attempt the extra point once again. Snap is back, kick is up, and it is good. So with 28 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter, Lakeshore leads 48-17. Massa to kick this one away. Bowie and Riley once again back to return for Neville. This one booted long, and it'll go into the end zone for the touchback as Riley couldn't handle it.
Yeah, it's one of those where he's trying to make sure, again, that the ball doesn't cross a plane so he can get a return. But he was kind of twisted in an awkward position trying to get that handled.
So So Neville over there taking their time before coming out, looking to get the right call in.
Yeah, this Neville team is junior laden. They lost their quarterback earlier in the year, and he was a guy that they were going to build around. So don't be surprised if they come back.
Thomas was not expecting the snap, and he took off. He gains about 3 there, but just a big miscue there.
Yeah, that was
in the
weird.
3rd.
That's another way to say it.
He wasn't expecting it, and the center just snapped it.
Yeah, what I was telling you, with so many juniors on this squad that are getting some serious time, Neville's going to be one of the top teams in 4A next year.
For a big year next year.
Yeah.
That will run out the 3rd quarter. So heading into the final stanza, Lakeshore leads 48-17.
St. Tammany Parish Public Schools, an A-rated school district. Graduates with the highest ACT scores in the state. Facilities with the latest technology. Safe and secure schools. A variety of sports. Fine arts. And learning to last a lifetime.
I'm Superintendent Trey Foles, and this is where we educate every child, every day.
Second and 6 for Neville here. Start of the 4th quarter, dropping back. Thomas looking to pass, and guess who? Guess who's there?
Hey, there's that man again.
Tylen Driver. You say man, he's a beast.
Yes, he's a warrior. No doubt about it.
Conquering the line of scrimmage. Third and 8 for Neville. Blitz showing Thomas. Passing out left side, complete to Williams, and that'll be a first down.
And I tell you what, Williams did a good job looking that in, knowing he was going to take the hit and get the first down.
Well, the senior, I mean, as the score is showing, his last game. So he's playing his heart out, trying to make the most of every snap now. Thomas out to Williams. It's popped away, but did he have possession? No. They say incomplete.
Yeah, and that's the right call. And I tell you what, though, what great coverage right there. He didn't have time to secure that at all because the coverage was excellent.
Brendan Perry on the coverage. So 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. Motion across from Bowie. Calling for it is Thomas. Looking downfield, lofts it up, and this will be, it'll fall incomplete as both Gaucher and Woods played for it, and it was just a 50-50 ball.
Yeah, and into double, to a lesser extent even triple coverage, but double coverage for sure. And that's a tall ask for the wide receiver right there.
3rd and 10 for Neville. Critical 3rd down as this crowd gets loud. New play coming in for Thomas from the sideline. On 3rd and 10, very loud crowd, and we have a official stoppage as they're talking it over. And there's an issue with a car at the end. They're hearing it from the press, the headsets as the officials are talking to each other on the field. So you have a car. There's a rule where you have to have, no cars can have their lights on, shining onto the field. There's a car behind Lakeshore back here that has its lights on, and they need to have those turned off before they can continue play. And now the lights are off as administrators are talking to the people who are sitting within that car saying, keep your lights off.
Makes sense as well. I mean, if you're back there trying to survey the field and someone's got their bright lights on, you're not doing a whole lot of surveying.
So 3rd and 10 for Neville. Thomas alone in the backfield. He lofts this one out, and it is incomplete. Intended for Riley. Good coverage there from Mackie Balat. No flags down.
And I tell you what a great adjustment in the air. He almost made a circus catch right there. Man, is he impressive. Riley is just a really good football player. I know the score doesn't indicate it, but, man, he's good.
Riley, the senior, playing his heart out as well. It's his last game. 4th and 10 for Neville. Critical. 4th down, looking to keep this drive going. Quads to the right. Thomas drops back, and he lofts up, heaves up a prayer. And it's complete to Williams, and there's a flag down as well.
There's going to be interference. The question is it going to be an offensive push-off, or is it going to be on Lakeshore?
Or will it be on Perry? Neville declined, so it looks to be on Lakeshore.
Well, I tell you what, if he's interfered with and still came with down with that ball, what a great play.
They declined, so big first down for Neville there.
You know,
we 4th down converting.
We talk about some of these juniors that'll be back next year for Neville. One of them is Thomas. He is a legit quarterback, and dual threat in every sense of the word.
They're going quads to the right once again. They have Williams to the left, everybody else to the right, to the bottom of your screen there. See Riley, Bowie, Geis, and Woods. Thomas calls for it, looking downfield, lofts it away, and it's complete to Bowie, who gets into the end zone for the score.
What a great pass and catch right there. Kind of a weird situation. There were 3 defenders there, and he just kind of, ran right in the space between all three of them. They kind of triangulated around him, but the problem was is he had a clear path, and boy, the pitch and catch was excellent there.
And what a great throw from Thomas as a driver was bearing down on him.
Yeah,
he was able to get that pass away before driver could
oblivious
get
to the pressure.
So Zach White on to attempt the extra point. White up, and the kick is good. So with 10:19 remaining here in the fourth, Lakeshore leads 48-24. So White on. Onside kick coming. Gets the 10 yards, but it's caught by Jacob Bernard.
Yeah.
That hands unit.
Yep, and there's a reason he's there. So he can haul that in and secure this game.
So the Lakeshore offense coming back out to milk a little more off the clock as they have a commanding 24-point lead. 10-17 though on the clock, so they have a lot to.
And again, I don't expect to see Lakeshore change up anything. They may run a tad bit more, but they've been successful with the run. But one of the reasons it's been so successful is they've mixed it up nicely, so more of the same.
Handoff goes to Lowry up the middle, and look at that. Has a big hole to hit and takes full advantage of it. Brought down by Freeman.
And the clock continues to run.
So about a 4-yard gain there brings up 2nd and 6 for the Titan offense. Trips left. It's the new play signaled in from the sideline. Calling for it. Penton, play action, looking to pass, rolling left, pass complete to Bernard, and Bernard pushed out of bounds, but the defensive back was looking away as Bernard was running down, and Bernard just able to quickly adjust, catch the ball behind him.
I mean, just great adjustment.
Continue running upfield.
Almost in-air adjustment. And what a great throw. It's across Penton's body. It's a tough throw to make, but again, he puts it where only Penton can get it, and Penton goes and gets it.
Trips right. 1st and 10 from the 32 as Penton lets it wind down. It's at 6 seconds. Calls for it. Lowry bouncing it outside, and he'll be run down from behind by Freeman. But a good adjustment by Max as there was nothing going on up the middle.
Yeah, it was.
But he was still on his feet, so he was able to bounce it out.
It was clogged up, and he did exactly what you said. Bounced it out and ate up some yards. Was able to stay in bounds, and the clock is steadily running.
So 2nd and 6. Trips to the right. Fans doing the wave here as they are very excited for what is next for their team, playing the winner of either Rain or Cecilia, and Westcott gets a carry there. He barrels forward and will be close to the first down.
And they should be. I mean, this is a fantastic team. Coach Jones and his staff have done a great job of putting these guys in a position to succeed. The Titans have gone out and executed flawlessly. I tell you, they're going to be tough no matter who they play. They are going to be a tough out.
That brings up 3rd and 2. Westcott still in at running back, and they give to Westcott again. And he will, let's see, it'll be close. He may be short. He is. So that'll bring up 3rd and inches.
4th, actually.
Excuse
now.
me, 4th and inches.
Yeah, so I keep them on the field and just run the ball again and see what happens. I mean, you know, Penton can do a nice little naked bootleg right here and go around either end.
New play coming in from the sideline.
And with the scoreline being what it is and the abilities that they have, even a pass, it wouldn't surprise me.
The John Wayne Beaker cheeseburger play. Penton rolling to his right, designed run. He'll get the first down and then some, looking to bounce it out, going far sideline, and he stays in bounds. And that's heads up there, him to just go down before hitting the sideline.
Smart play, no doubt about it. And again, I kind of was thinking Penton to the right. It just makes sense. He's got all the ability. Neville has to crash in the middle to make sure that you're not giving up that easy yard, and it just creates space to Penton's right.
7:10 to go here in the fourth. First, a fresh set of downs for Lakeshore.
And again, how smart is Penton just to make sure he goes down inbounds, keep the clock, churning away. It's on their
Veteran
side.
play.
Yeah,
Veteran play.
Smart play.
Gets the play clock down to 3. Passing here, and that goes incomplete. Intended for Jacob Bernard. On the coverage there is Zorian Littleberry.
And again, they're so talented. A pass in this offense, it's just like a long handoff. I mean, there's nothing to it.
2nd and 10. Calling for it. Penton hands off to Lowry. Lowry left side, still on his feet, barreling forward. Lowry has 4.
That's 4. I tell you what, that's quad aces right there. I mean, 4 of a kind, and
dragging defenders into the end zone.
Give him credit. He was not going to be denied. Not even close to being denied.
You hear the crowd saying one more touchdown for a record. They want it, especially against Neville, the number 7 seed.
And with the history that Neville has, I can guarantee you Neville they haven't given up 50 points many times in their illustrious history.
Kick is up, and it is good. So with 6:42 remaining here in the fourth quarter, Lakeshore leads 55-24. The Massada kicked this one away after the Lowry touchdown. 6:42 to go. And fielded at the 1. Riley will be brought down by Daniel Melton.
Good coverage.
Melton, a freshman playing on varsity.
Good coverage right there by Lakeshore. I tell you what, for a freshman to...
This is a 6'1", 190-pound freshman.
Well, that's a big freshman. And anybody who can hem in Demaine Riley, especially as a freshman, that's impressive.
So 1st and 10 for Neville. As they await the play. And here, when you're down this much, obviously a comeback is pretty...
You're working on next year.
Yeah.
Especially the guys who are going to be there, like Thomas. You want him getting the reps in a tough environment on the road. We talked about how many juniors they have coming back, and many of them in key positions.
Mm-hmm.
Neville's going to be fine. They're well coached. They've got some talent. They're gonna have a good year next year. I mean, it was a good year this year, but I mean, you got to realize their standards are really, really high at Neville.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Just an FYI there, both of the gates will be open for traffic to flow out.
Thomas calling for it. Dropping back, driver, immediate penetration once again, and that pass sniffed out by Orvin and dropped for a loss.
Yeah, that was great coverage right there. Well read. He sniffed that out, and it was going nowhere.
6:14. To go here in the fourth. Clock running. Quads to the right. And Thomas alone in the backfield here on 3rd and 12. And Neville will take a timeout with 5:46 remaining here in the game. Lakeshore leading 55-24. So 3rd and 12 for Neville. Calling for it is Thomas, looking downfield as pressure bared down. Wow, what a catch from Riley. Still on his feet, crossing the 50, almost out to the 40.
Unbelievable.
Odell Beckham-esque.
Oh, my God. He snagged that out of the air. It was just unbelievable. That was unbelievable.
That was something.
That's like top 10 highlight material. Unbelievable.
So, setting the chains. As they're having a little struggle getting them in place over there. Trips right. Thomas calls for it, looking downfield, quick pass out, and it is snuffed out immediately by Brendan Perry. But the pass complete to Williams.
Inbound, so the clock is still running.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 5 for the Tigers, staying in that empty set. Trips right, 2 to the left. Thomas calls for it. Looking downfield, pressure from Tylan Driver, and it hit him in the arm and affected that pass as it hits the turf.
Yeah.
And that'll bring up.
He was looking for his favorite target. But,
he was looking for Riley.
Yeah, even Riley can't find that ball.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 5 for Neville. And Lakeshore fans want the ball back because they want that record.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
Snap is back. Thomas looking left side. And incomplete, intended for Williams. Good coverage from the sophomore Perry.
And it's going to bring up 4th down.
That'll bring up a 4th and 5.
And again, this is good reps for Thomas. Seeing a good defense across from him in Lakeshore. So it only bodes well for Neville's future.
4th and 5 for the Tigers. Fans getting loud. Thomas calls for it. Looking downfield, there's Driver again. Pass is incomplete, intended for Woods as Gaucher puts a hat on him.
Yeah, and I don't know if that would have been enough. Anyway, it would have been close, but no matter. The coverage was phenomenal.
So turnover on downs, and we will see the Lakeshore offense once again as this crowd really wants that record.
Yes, they do.
So 4:46 on the clock here in the game. Lakeshore up 55-24. They go 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Lowry in the backfield with Penton.
I would imagine Lowry's going to get a steady diet of toting the ball right through here.
And breaking away from one tackle, Lowry coming back to the left side, still on his feet, and he'll be brought down after crossing the 40-yard line. So a gain of 6 there for Lowry.
And it should have been a loss. He made that happen just through his effort and, a lot of hard work on his end, which, hey, that's why he's got 4 scores tonight.
2nd and 5. For the Titans, trips to the right this time. Looking for the new play. Massa to the bottom of your screen. Snap is back. Penton, handoff, goes to Lowry, and Lowry will be slung back. And it's finally cleaned up there by Freeman.
Tell you what, you see a team put 55 points up, you'd swear the defense isn't having any say at all in the game. You'd be way wrong. Mr. Freeman has definitely been a really, really good player out there for Neville tonight.
Freeman, a senior, playing his last game here tonight.
And
Wants to make the most of it.
And he has. He really has.
3rd and 6 for the Titans. Penton looking to pass as pressure bears down. Complete out there to Pore, but that'll be shy of the first down, so that'll bring up about 4th and 3.
And I tell you what, he had the sky up there.
That'll bring up 4th and 1. Good spot. Trips to the right, offense staying on.
And again,
Westcott in at running back.
Up.
And a false start called on the Titans.
Well, that's going to make this 4th down more likely than not a punt. But again, with Lakeshore's ability, you never know.
4th and 6. Offense staying on. Clock running down. 2:17 on the clock as Penton takes his time. Play clock down to 6. And they're going to take, let's see, was a timeout called? No, they're going to take the delay of game. And that'll back them up.
Yeah.
And they should send the punt unit on. Offense staying on.
Well,
after taking the delay of game, so they were just looking to run time off.
And here we go.
And here comes the punt unit. And Massa back to punt.
And it might be another delay of game.
And last week against Tioga, yeah, play clock down to 5. But last week Massa had 1 punt for 50 yards against Tioga. Good snap back. And Massa punts this one away. And it'll be down at about the 35-yard line. So Neville will have 1 minute and 53 seconds.
And again, Neville is, they're going to go out there. I'm sure they'll run their base set and give Thomas that many more reps.
We have a final, Hornville 38, Covington 27.
Trips to the right.
Edna Carr, 34.
Peyton Battiford in at quarterback. They're getting the senior some more reps here in his final game.
Yeah.
Battiford looking to pass left side, complete to Williams, and Williams will be wrestled out of bounds by Brendan Perry.
And seniors to, 2 seniors right there, like you said, finishing out their high school career.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 5 with 1 minute 40 to go, and Lakeshore will go on to play Rain at home next week. Battiford looking to take off, running left side, looking to be run down by Womack. Perry there forcing him out of bounds. But Lakeshore gets the home game in the semifinals.
And that's a big, big advantage. I tell you what, if they play anywhere near the level that they've played tonight, it's going to be a tough night for whoever they play.
Yeah, be it Rain or say they go to the Dome and face potentially Carr.
Yeah, and Carr is elite. They've got Division I prospects all over the field. So it would be really interesting to see that matchup. But, hey, Rain's got to come in here, and Lakeshore will have to handle business and keep focusing. I'm sure that, Lakeshore's coaching staff, they're gonna stay one game at a time, which is probably why they're at this point. I mean, Coach Jones will have those guys focused for sure.
Battiford alone in the backfield. Pressure coming, and he'll be dragged down by Slade Ziegler.
What a great play right there. I mean,
that's a coverage sack, really.
It is, and even still, that's a big quarterback. So Ziegler really did a good job of making sure and taking him down at the, the ankles and make sure he didn't get away.
That D1 offseason strength training paying off.
That's right. That's right.
But 56 seconds, under a minute to go. Sign on the other side of the field. You see it there. It says, Lakeshore, tell your girlfriends you'll be free next Friday. The girlfriends are going to have to wait another week for the date.
Yep. That's
and more pressure bearing down. Batterford running, and Orvin will bring him down as he gets back to about the original line of scrimmage.
And that's going to set up a 3rd and a long 9.
It'll bring up 3rd and 9, yes. But 18 seconds. Let's see if they run the play here. They're looking to get set up as the clock winds down. It's at 12 seconds. 5 seconds. Batterford calls for it. 3, 2. Clock will expire on this play. Williams is down. Clock expires, and Lakeshore has won 55-24 to advance to the semifinals in the 4A LHSAA state playoffs. So let's send out a big thank you to those who helped bring you this game, starting with our superintendent, Mr. Trey Folse, our director of broadcasting, Dr. Melody Menard, sideline cameraman, Rhett Sharp, cameraman, editor, and coordinator of Channel 13, Dave the Rave Williams. As always, color analyst, Coach Jimmy Inman. So from Lakeshore High School, where the Lakeshore Titans defeat the Neville Tigers 55-24 to advance to the semifinals. My name is Grant Yenny. Good night. You are now leaving the Prep Zone.